This is week 5 of your sensational bounce back semester that you're going to have in improving your semester preparation, exam performance, and your grades. I'm here as a reminder to you right now in this semester to stay the course, stay with it, keep chipping away. But right now, it's time to up your preparation, up your game, up your focus, up your productivity, and being engaged in any distractions that you may have right now. What I mean by distractions, anything in your external environment where it's your phone, social media, watching too much Netflix, anything that is preventing you from being laser focused. We got to reduce them. So this way we can make room for more focus and more productivity. And in this video, I want to share with you a study in productivity technique that I've been using for the past year. And it's a technique that is widely used for a lot of students. And there are other YouTube videos out there talking about this particular technique. So I don't take credit for this technique at all, but it's the best technique that I have found out there that works for productivity. And here it is. The Pomodoro Technique. This was developed in the late 1980s. You can do the research, watch other videos to give you more background about this technique. But here's how to do it. You want to set a timer for 25 minutes. And you want to use an online timer, not your phone, because the phone is the biggest distraction. We don't want to see the phone at all. And I'll talk about this more in the video. You want to use an online timer. So Tomato Timer is based off the Pomodoro Technique, and it has all the set times, and you can change the settings. I use timeanddate.com/timer/, but any online timer, do not use your phone. Next, you want to work on one task until the 25-minute timer runs out. You want to set a timer sound. So when the 25 minutes is up, beep, there's different sounds on the settings in the online timer. You can create whichever one you want to use. Next, you want to put a check mark on a sheet or track on a spreadsheet in intervals in Excel. I like tracking it in a spreadsheet, but you can use either or. You want to set a timer to take a short break of 5 minutes. You want to set the timer sound on that. So when your 5 minutes up, beep, you're back at it, going for another 25 minutes. After every 4 check marks, or I like to call them intervals, so 4 25-minute intervals, you're going to set a timer to take a longer break for 20 minutes. You're going to set the timer sound on that as well. So when your 20 minutes is up, beep, you're back at it again. And you want to rinse and repeat until you have completed the task. Here are some of the benefits that I believe are so amazing about the Pomodoro Technique. It eliminates multitasking, or we can call it task switching. This is a distraction. You see, I used to pride myself long ago, and you're probably like me in this sense, where I was like, I can text, do homework, watch TV, eat all at the same time. And I was like, yeah, I can do all these different things. But is it really productive? Because when we are switching from one task to the next, we have to regain our focus and flow on that task. And this takes more time and is less productive. If we see our mental focus as a muscle, I'm going to use this analogy. Let's say, for example, you're at the gym, you're lifting weights, and you're doing one exercise, and you have 12 reps. Wouldn't it be crazy where you're doing the reps? 1, 2, stop. Oh, let me check my phone. Check phone. Start again. 3, 4, 5, stop. Oh, check my phone again. 6, 7. Oh, what's on TV? You see, we're not building muscle like that. We wouldn't do that in the gym with working out. So it's the same thing with our brain and our focus. We want to keep it on one task because it can work much faster. And I didn't believe this myself because I was so used to multitasking myself. But once I switched to this and just focusing on one task for 25 minutes, game changing. I was getting more done on a task and finish it way quicker than me multitasking because we truly don't know how long it takes for us to complete a task because we're doing so many different tasks at one time. Next, effective time management for any task. And you can use this not just for law school, but for any task out there. And governing ourselves on time, we're forcing ourselves to work within 25 minutes to see how fast and how accurate we can get that particular task done. And we're just all in on that one task. Now we can measure within 25-minute intervals to see how long it takes us to complete a task. If it takes us 4 or 5 25-minute intervals, so be it. But now we are more able to measure to see how we complete and how fast. Because without timing ourselves, just without governing ourselves with time, we see time just goes by and 3, 4, 5 hours later, we really haven't got anything done. We haven't been really productive. So setting a time for getting the task done and taking these breaks is so game changing. Next, effective mental breaks. And I like to use an analogy of pit stops, like in motorsports. Race car, whether it's NASCAR or Formula One, where race car is going around the track, going as fast as it can, and it takes pit stops. And at the pit stops, there's a pit crew where they refuel the car, they change the tires, make mechanical adjustments on the car so that it can go faster for longer. And this is the same way with our brain. We want to give it those breaks so that it can go longer. It can perform much more efficient, where we're not experiencing all this mental fatigue where we're just studying and going for 2, 3, 4 hours straight. How effective are we really doing that? I used to do it, but now looking back, I'm like, was I really productive and efficient? No. But doing this and taking these set breaks, you will find that you're like taking a pit stop, essentially, so that you can go much longer and think more sharper. And there's all these different studies out there for taking mental breaks during studying. I don't know all of them. You can do the research yourself, but it works. Lastly, doing this mimics focus needed for optimal exam preparation and exam taking. You're not going to be doing all these task switching, multitasking when you're taking the exam. And as you're learning and absorbing the information and trying to understand it and practicing exam problems, you don't do this in the test. You don't look at your phone, this and that. You're focused on the task at hand. So this is training our brain to mimic what we're going to do in actual exams. And this is the focus that we need. So we're building this muscle all throughout the semester to do this. So, oh man, I cannot wait for you to try this. And here's an example of how I track it on Excel spreadsheet. I like to track the times as I go. So when I start the timer and then to when I end the timer, I put in the times from the breaks and everything. And this is just a task, a click and learn, personal jurisdiction. That's the task that I labeled. And then you see the breaks that are in between and then the times on the right hand side. And it's just like a rinse and repeat. But if you want to do the check marks, fine. But I like the spreadsheet because I like to track my time and go back and look to see how long I am taking on each task. And as you see on Click and Learn Part 2 Personal Jurisdiction, I put in caps done. I was like, okay, that's how long it took me to do it. It took me 3 25-minute intervals to do that particular task, and so on and so forth. Now, I have done this Pomodoro technique, tried and true, and did all the hiccups and whatnot. So here is my advice of what to do during your 25 minutes. And I made all the mistakes. So these are behaviors that I am encouraging you to do. Because when I first started it, I didn't have these behaviors like this. But now I'm in the flow of it and it works. So first, you want to keep your phone out of your sight and your sound. As I was saying before, the phone is the biggest distraction. When we are studying or trying to do a task, we have the phone right beside us, texting, somebody calls us, we're in a 10, 20-minute conversation and we're switching back and forth. It's not really productive. So what I have done is put my phone in the next room. And I say sight and sound because our brain is like a dog on a squirrel. You know, like when a dog sees a squirrel, it's like, squirrel! Oh, where's the squirrel? So it's like, if we hear a vibration sound in the next room, it's like, our brain's like, who is that? Or who can that be? So we want to put it on silent so we don't even hear it at all. And you'll find not messing with your phone, not looking at your phone, way more productive. So this all depends on if you're at home, but if you're in the library, put it in your bag. Keep it away from you. Next, don't have any unnecessary browser windows on your computer screen, whether it's your email, your social media, nothing. Whatever the task is, you're focusing on that because, again, you don't want to multitask. You don't want to, you want to get away from these addictions from the brain because the brain is like, oh, let me check the email, let me check the social media, let me check these different browsers while I am working. But we want to eliminate that completely. Next, you want to drag the online timer to the bottom of the screen, so where you don't even see it. You want to prevent yourself from looking at the timer or even just looking at time period and just go all in, full focus for the 25 minutes and have the beeper beep when the time is up. And you'll find like, okay, this is all right. If you don't want to look at the time, just work. Just go. And you want to keep a real-time log of common distractions. So as I was saying before, starting out doing this, you're not going to have that full focus, concentration, maybe because, again, it's like building muscle. It's not going to be as strong as first. So you want to evaluate yourself. You want to have the awareness of your distractions. You know, keep a pad, a paper handy and write down every time you find yourself losing concentration and why. And then towards the end of the day, towards the end of the week, you want to create a strategy of how you will reduce that distraction or how you will keep yourself concentrated more in the moment. Next, you want to play instrumental music. You do not want to have lyrics. Lyrics is distracting to the brain. You know, your favorite song comes up and that internal voice in you wants to sing along. We don't want to focus on the words. We just want this as background music to boost our mood, emotions, and just our concentration. This can be classical music, upbeat music, as long as it doesn't have any lyrics. Trust me, it's going to work versus just having just silence completely. And you want to have a playlist so you're not changing songs from one song to the next. You just want to have just complete playlists where, again, that's a distraction where, oh, I got to change the next song. No, we want to maximize that 25 minutes. But the instrumental playlist is going to work. Once the timer goes off, immediately set the timer to take a 5-minute break. And after the 25-minute interval, set the timer to take a 25-minute break. So as soon as it goes beep, set the timer on the 5-minute break and the 20-minute break. My advice during your 5-minute break: get up out of your seat, walk around, stretch, go to the bathroom. I drink a lot of water, so after my 5-minute break, I'm always going to the bathroom, grab a snack, etc. I like to just move around. I like to do a little shadow boxing, or I may do some push-ups just to keep my blood flowing, keep my energy up. But this break is for whatever you want to do, except refrain from looking at your phone, email, social media, or etc. Because you're going to look at your phone, you're going to look at that text, and then you're going to text somebody back, and it may take more than 5 minutes. Or you're going to take that phone call, and it may take more than 5 minutes. So you want to refrain from looking at it. You just want to use this as just to kind of just get up, kind of refresh. Again, it's like your pit stop, and just kind of regroup and just take a step back. And then once the timer goes off, the beep, get back in the seat, and you do another 25 minutes. Again, this is advice where I made these mistakes and looking at my phone during this 5-minute breaks, and I was completely off, and I was taking way more than 5-minute breaks, and the timing was all the way off. So this is the proper behavior to have during this. My advice during your 20-minute break. So this is your longer break. Get up out your seat. This is when you can check your phone, text, call that person, email, social media, whatever you want to do. It's a longer break, so you can do whatever you need to do. Any activity you can do within 20 minutes. Wash dishes, do some laundry, whatever. You just want to be back in that seat when the timer goes off and you're back at it for another 25 minutes. Now, you may find that 25 minutes is short. Once you really start to do this day by day and you get in the flow, or another task such as writing a brief, or you're doing exam practice problems, you may want more time. So instead of 25 minutes, set a timer for 50 minutes, no longer than that. And instead of the 5-minute breaks, take 10-minute breaks. Then instead of the 20-minute break, take 30-minute breaks. I like to use the 50 minutes for when I am doing exam practice problems, or just when I feel like I'm more in the flow. Because you'll find with the 25 minutes, it's like you're working and then beep, you're like, oh, dang, like I'm in the flow. Like I want to keep going. So with the 50 minutes, it's going to allow you to do that. But don't take no more than 50 minutes. Again, we want to keep the breaks in between. And once the timer goes off, you stop, take your break, and then get back to it. All right. Get this up. So I hope this video provides value to you and that you try this technique throughout the week, on the weekend, your individual study session. It's going to work. It doesn't work overnight, but it will work over time. It's much better than what you've been doing. And it was much better than what I've been doing. I didn't really have no technique to govern my time and to govern my focus, just whatever. But now we got to have these techniques, and we gotta have these strategies to make sure that we are optimally preparing and performing at our best every day, every week, now until exam time comes. So let's keep it going, keep it rolling. Let's go. Stay relentless, champ.